This show is brought to you and produced by, well, Jim McD, but 3rd Street Barbell. 3sb.co. Grab your clothes, check it out, check the gym. We are alive and well. It's weird. We were just talking pre-ramble of content creators and how what they create on different platforms, and like the marketing strategy is create long form content and then chop it down and spread it, right? So you do a podcast for an hour, 2 hours, you chop it into 2 half-an-hour things, throw it on YouTube, you chop it into 5 30-second things, you throw it on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and whatever. And we do that okay, but the truth is we probably overwork, which is fine, but we create different types of content on each platform.
Yeah.
And I honestly, and you were saying, yeah, I wonder if one way might, drive your audience or have a different audience. And it's so varied, right? Like all marketing and all content creation is like a weird form of sociology, which that's why I like it. Because I just put up a quick YouTube video yesterday for the first time in probably 3-4 months. And everyone's like, where have you been? Where have you been? Meanwhile, we've posted a podcast once a week. I post on Instagram daily, multiple times, story and otherwise. Twitter, Twitch, I'm live every single day. And I guess the sociology answer there is that people's preferred platform, they stay there. If you like YouTube, you just watch YouTube. And it's not necessarily, and it's not because they don't like what I create or what we create on a podcast or what I create on Twitch. They just happen, when they go home or they have downtime, they go to youtube.com.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I do that more
Same.
than I ever expected to.
I only watch Twitch. If I'm like I have a dual monitor setup. I think we've talked about this. Life changing. I know I'm late to the party, but holy shit, is that life changing? I remember in 2005, my best friend's dad worked at home. I think he worked in insurance or finance or something. Called him Papa Cole. He had it, and I walked into his office, and I was like, oh shit, that looks complicated, and he's fucking whipping shit around. He's got Excel sheets and people's numbers and salaries everywhere, and I never did it. I always just worked on a laptop because I never did anything. I edited videos, but nothing crazy. But having a dual monitor at home is godsend. So I'll have like Twitch just bullshit in the background while I'm writing emails or doing whatever on the left. And I absolutely love it. I don't know where I was going with that, but
I can
Twitch, what we watch.
Yeah, I can up that game a little bit and say, excuse me, ultra wide 21:9 monitors if you're doing any kind of audio or video editing.
Yeah, I bet.
Holy crap!
Yeah, so people do that.
Get their timeline on the long monitor.
People do that and go vertical for Twitch because then you can see longer chat or longer notifications. I'll probably do something like that next.
My secondary ultra wide monitor is the one we use for
working
for shipping now.
Fulfillment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I understand.
Fulfillment sounds like it would be more fulfilling than it actually is, but
no, it's not. It fulfills other people's orders. That is, I guess, a thing. So like the podcast fam, whoever's listening, that we're in the gym and we're grinding every day, and the clothing and the launches and all that. But the YouTube folks just stay on YouTube, and Twitch folks stay on Twitch, and Instagram folks just stay on Instagram. And I think the circles do get smaller. Like Instagram's the new Facebook, and I talk about it on TikTok too. And whether you're talking business wise or just content creation wise or grow an audience, whatever you want, it starts with teenagers. They throw the culture on social media, right? So like everyone's like TikTok's for 16-year-olds. I was like, so was Facebook. Facebook was for 18-year-olds,
right? And
now 10 years later, who's on Facebook? 40s, 50s, 60s. They probably make the majority of who's constantly on. And Instagram, same thing. Like who's on Instagram? Oh, college kids. Like, and every single person's on Instagram right now.
Yeah, and bots. A lot of bots.
Yeah, now. And then same with TikTok. 4 or 5 years from now, it's already growing, but 4 or 5 years from now, it's going to be 30s, 40s, 50s-year-olds. That's just how it's going to go.
I don't know about that.
Really?
Maybe. I think it's fundamentally different.
I'll put money down.
Okay, I think it's fundamentally different because TikTok is like super short. People are going to get older for sure, and people who've got this attention span. But TikTok is about the short attention span theater, man.
But Instagram stories are faster, and people are all over that. Like a lot of people TikTok 60 seconds, and I think regardless of ADHD generationally, because I know what you're going at, that people.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just like we've changed our brains because of what we've been exposed to.
Maybe that. Whatever it is, I think that's going to be all generations. I think everyone, as soon as they get a taste of it, likes it. It is kind of a drug.
I will say that that my attention span has gotten shorter based on what I used to be able to read books, and now I read articles.
Yeah.
you know. And if it's a really long article, I gotta commit to this one because I really want to know what this person says, and I'll get to the end of it. And sometimes it's like you're skimming toward the end. It's like, or you just jump to the end and see what the conclusion is and then back into their logic because I can't wait to know what they really think and whatever.
The only thing I can do is movies or I can binge movies or TV shows pretty good. Like I just binged the crap out of Winter Soldier Falcon deal.
Yeah.
I can do that all day long, but I can't read a book. I can't.
I could and I can.
I don't even like to watch YouTube videos.
But my problem, we're gonna get there in a second. But my problem now is just feeling like I have the amount of absolutely free time. Like if I'm going to read a book, I'm going to block out everything else.
Yeah. Or what else should I be doing or could I be doing?
Yeah, and that's the problem. There's almost always something else I could be doing.
Yeah.
And so I have a difficult time like committing to that.
Yeah, I get it.
I am really fighting the allergies today, and I will tell you why. I forgot to take my Claritin before I went to bed. In fact, I usually take melatonin when I go to sleep, or trying to go to sleep too, because it I use the time release stuff and it helps me stay asleep. Because that's my biggest problem is waking up during the night.
Yeah,
especially. I mean, it's always kind of been true, but as I get older, it's harder and harder. And at 4 o'clock this morning when I was awake and couldn't go back to sleep, I was thinking that. As you get older, obviously, it's harder to sleep, and your brain is kind of telling you, look, you only have so much more time. You need to be fucking awake for shit.
Yeah, be active.
That doesn't seem fair, but I think it's true. But I ordered this thing that hasn't come yet. It's been like 3 weeks, but I've heard about it for years. The Starretts have had one for a while, and then Phil Stevens got one. This thing that's supposed to cool and heat your bed. That's a water cooled and water heated deal that's supposed to help modulate your body temperature during the night, so it stays optimal for sleep.
Yeah,
I'm dying for that because the thing that woke me up at 4 o'clock this morning was sweating like a pig because it was cold when I went to bed, and then
Yeah, I jack my AC up when I go to bed. During the day, I don't love it, but we'll just turn it off, and it'll be try to save some money, and it's fucking 70, 80 degrees in my house. But at night, I can't sleep unless it's like 63.
Really?
Yeah, I jack.
That's what I don't know. I on the site for this, it's Chili Pad or whatever, Chili Cooler, so whatever. The thing I just bought is the Uller. If anyone wants to follow along, I might talk about it. This is not a paid promotion at all. This is just me trying to sleep better.
Experience.
Yeah, and the heat pump in our bedroom got something in the motor a couple of years ago, and so anytime you turn it on now, it just burns wood and smokes, and that it's not. So we have not been using it for a while, and replacing it is considerably more expensive than just buying this thing.
Yeah.
That was not cheap, but still.
That's all those. Hopefully it works because I know this one's obviously you get what you pay for, right? It's expensive. Hopefully it has some real function to it because I have the quote unquote cooling pillow, and that's just the same, and it's a little. It's like $10-$20 more than a normal pillow, but what the fuck's in there? That's gonna cool me down. It's the fucking same.
Is it electric?
No, that's my point. Yeah, it's supposed to be some material or what's on the inside.
Yeah, this thing plugs in, and it's got it's app based, and it's split in the bed, so I don't have to have the same temperature as my wife, who tries to freeze me in the whole room. And
I'll probably freeze the goddamn thing. Yeah, maybe I'll read your report, and then I'll just turn that bitch down to 50.
Phil said that when he got his, somebody who had the other version, had the previous version, advised him to just put it down as cold as he could stand it, and he's like, my ass was 43 degrees.
I kind of like that.
That's cold.
Yeah, as long as I have covered. That's the only thing I like about camping, is when it's cold as shit at night, and I could be in a hot or a warm fucking sleeping bag.
Really?
Yeah, where my face is kind of freezing. I kind of like to fight for my warmth.
Yeah. See, I have I discovered a while back that if I'm using CPAP, which I typically do, and it's really cold in the bedroom, I can go to sleep with my head covered and still get air because it's coming from the outside.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
I
do you
like
think
that a
that's so evolutionary, that we're or whatever, instinctual, that we're in the embryo type shit?
Yeah. I know a lot of people who have trouble sleeping on the CPAP, and I've struggled with it sometimes just because it hurts my nose sometimes or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just think about it as being in space. Like if you were in space,
Yeah, how
you
would
would
you
need
sleep? Or
air.
underwater.
Yeah, you would need air.
We're
Or
moving to
underwater,
Mars.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
moving to Mars, so you might be the norm.
I think we're not moving to Mars.
I'm moving to 2036.
I think it's not going to happen. I think the radiation's too much of a problem.
Well, then I'm
Like
moving underwater,
Yeah, okay.
like Jar Jar Binks.
No.
Why haven't we done that?
That's a really good
That
question.
one's like that's what I wonder, these conspiracies out there. Like, what do these motherfuckers know? Like, why are we trying to fly for months to Mars? We don't know what the fuck's under our ocean.
That's a really good question.
And why don't and if we're talking about places to live and we're running out of land and recycling, build a little fucking Jar Jar Binks world down there.
I was reading this article. I don't know if you ever follow abandoned porn on Reddit. It's not literally porn.
Sure.
It's
Like food porn.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
In
You
that,
perverts.
In that sense of porn, abandoned porn is not those magazines you find on.
I was gonna make like bad jokes, like it was like abandonment porn, like daddy issues, like
There's plenty of that too.
I don't know.
There's if you can think of a kink, somebody's got it. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that there was this bar that was built underwater, and it was
I love that.
bar for a long time. It's not anymore, but it's like apparently it was in Japan or
I
something.
don't think there's a hotel that's on like a beach that kind of goes under, and you sleep. I don't know. There's like Instagram things you see, like coolest hotel rooms, and you like your window is the ocean.
I like that idea,
I
and
love
it
it.
scares me at the same time.
Eh.
Tunnels a little bit bother me. Like tunnel underwater,
Yeah.
that's a little bit of a concern.
But we're not going to go down here. But yeah, like there's tunnels under Disneyland. They're supposed to be cool and creepy. Tunnels under the Denver airport.
Mm-hmm.
That's like some conspiracy weirdness going on there. Google it. I don't know. I really don't know. I only know like one step into these things, because then I go too far and I feel like a loony bin, So I just kind of stop. Like, that sounds
There's
interesting.
a lot of loony bin in our business, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of loony bin out here.
We'll hop in.
Yeah, let's go.
We got a couple. We'll start with one we were actually just talking about, ish.
Okay.
People say, are you guys going to have like an ambassador program for your apparel? And it's something you and I haven't really talked about. And so we figured, welcome into our meeting, ladies
Let's
and gentlemen.
definitely have a business meeting right here on live on the
I don't think it's a bad idea to have the business meeting on air. I think I'm a bit pretentious when it comes to these things. And this may be all ego talking, but marketing moves with the flow of culture in the world, right? Marketing in 1995 is not the same YouTube marketing in 2025. And so when I learned on the fly in 2011 and just started to kind of think out of the box on how to get products seen, which I did for a couple companies over the last 10 years and then now ours, social media was the key. And social media marketing, sure, it was kind of a thing, but I don't even know if there's paid Facebook ads at the time. I mean, when was social media created? 2005? Like you can call AOL or something if you want, but generally speaking.
a little bit.
Yeah. But like 2010 to 2020, social media is an everyday term.
It starts with MySpace. Whenever MySpace started.
Yeah, but
MySpace,
sure.
Friendster, those are sort of the
which I guess
beginning
is 2000-ish, maybe 2000,
something like that.
And then it probably wasn't optimized because again, that was very, I feel like, generational. Like your mom wasn't on MySpace.
No.
My mom's on Facebook. Right. So like we hit this. My mom is, and then like my youngest little cousin who's like 12. Right. So like the generational or the reach is so much bigger. And again, because of that, and because of the product that we make and the style we make. In my brain, we really haven't discussed this. I'm leaning towards like no. I've always been against it personally as a creator, and I think that's something interesting that Jim and I both have. Jim's got an actual master's in marketing. We create content, and we have been sponsored, and now we run businesses that potentially can sponsor people. So we have like a unique view on it all, and I understand why codes are used. They're a way to give back to the athlete, potentially with like an affiliate, so they get money based on how much stuff they sell. It's a way to track marketing and track the traction of your quote-unquote athlete. And it's an incentive for someone to purchase.
Right.
Or for the audience to purchase. For me, it's always felt corny. And I know it's been a thing forever. Hey, infomercials. Call right now and $9.99. You get 10% off. Use code, ABC at 10 o'clock at night, whatever. I get it all. I understand it all. I don't like the vibe of it. And because our stuff is premium, kind of small batch stuff. I was even talking to clients this morning or members this morning. They said, man, I opened those shorts and I just started to feel them. I said, whoa, it's a little different. I said, yeah, like we don't make the best dollar on every short that we probably could, but we like to put out the best shit. And I said, I would rather just do that. And so you wrap all that into my ego and what the product we have. I lean towards no. Now, do we send out boxes and care packages to homies? We do. And we've talked about that a lot, and we send it to people that we think are cool. We send it to friends. We send it to, people of quote-unquote influence. And, 6 months from now, I could be punching codes down your guys' throat. I don't know. Business changes, but that's where my brain is now.
I just want to throw out how codes started. It was for testing creative.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you track the performance of a particular creative.
You can segment an ad or segment.
Yeah, and then if you give codes to ambassadors or athletes that you're sponsoring or whatever, you can track that stuff.
Right.
And the real question is like whether that's fair.
Number
one, and number two, like it makes you compare those people against each other,
right.
and makes you have a value judgment. Like somebody you could really like. Their code doesn't produce anything at all, and like then you're stuck with this quandary about whether or not you continue because you like them or whatever. And there's also the thing like people don't always use codes.
Well, and it goes deeper than that to me, where marketing is an ever flowing. There's depths to it, and sure, there's analytics and numbers, and you should look at those things in demographics and codes. But to me, social media is the broadest, widest net that we throw. It's not transactional to me. I would sponsor athletes or we send care packages for brand recognition, not for sales.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say next.
Yeah, where other people don't. They're trying to get a straight 1-to-1, and it's not a 1-to-1 for me. One, I want to share our product because I think it's dope with our cool friends.
Right.
And then I want our friends, if they're inclined to and think our product is also dope, to share it with their audience. And then their audience, it might catch their eye. And then, yes, the percentage that would purchase something goes way down that way. But that's cool with me. I'm cool to have the niche of the people that know our quality are only the people that bought it. I don't need to go out there and tell everybody, yo, my shit's the dopest. If you bought it, you're kind of in this club like, damn, this shirt's a little different. These shorts are a little different, and that's totally fine with me.
Well, I mean, part of that strategy plays out differently if we constantly have things available and we weren't using the
for sure
the capsule model that we use now. Like if we were
right,
if we were one of the other
and all of it
apparel companies in this industry,
and then you run the shit ton of ads, you sponsor 1 million people, and you're just driving traffic to the website all day. But like our whole goal of all of this is like every business's number one goal is to make money. Yes, and our goal is to make money our way. I don't want to just sell a shirt with a name on it.
And there are reasons why we're not currently doing advertising for anything but our own stuff on this podcast is because of exactly the problem that you're talking about, where people don't understand, advertising people don't understand that the performance of the code they give you isn't really a good measure of the amount of awareness that you're generating for their product. And they put direct response.
Or the value,
they put direct response in place because it's quantifiable, but it doesn't actually measure how much awareness you're creating for a particular product.
Why do you think that is? Like, obviously you have like, of all people, you have like the textbook schooling, and then you have like the street schooling, where I only have the street schooling. But like, I feel like if you go to Coca-Cola and you talk to them in the 90s to early 2000s and now, they run commercials on TV knowing that they're trying to go to the person that is at the store. They're trying to get in your subconscious, because then when you're at the store, you grab Coke over Pepsi when it's right next to each other. No TV commercial in the history of time are you sitting at the Super Bowl. Do you see a Coca-Cola commercial with the polar bear that's so cute drinking a fucking Coke and automatically sprint to the store and buy Coca-Cola? That's never happened. Or are you watching the Super Bowl and see that Coca-Cola commercial and hop on your Amazon phone and buy Coca-Cola right there? It's always for a later purchase.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an ad, right? Where did ads start? Radio, TV, right? That's the typical. I mean, probably not. I'm sure you guys are like, there's some
newspapers.
yeah,
but
all, magazines, radio, and then probably moved to TV.
like posted
Right,
posted signs.
Same,
when,
but even same as that, right? Like, say the newspaper, like you're reading the New York Times in 1920 or whatever the fuck, and you see a Coca-Cola ad. You're not sprinting to the store to buy a Coca-Cola. It's so you. And obviously times change, right? So if Coca-Cola was a brand new company, they're also just going for brand awareness and to introduce you to a product.
Right.
It's all varied depending on the category. I get the nuances, but my point is that people's expectations of marketing now are wild to me.
Yeah.
Like it's like all the, and I know all these people because we've dealt with big ass companies. They don't hire people like me, even though some are starting to.
Mhm.
They hire people with these MBAs and whatever. And how do they not understand like the basic concept of that? Are they just stupid?
I don't know exactly, but I will tell you that there's a similar issue with marketing budgets, period.
Yeah.
Because usually when a company starts to retrench, one of the first things they cut is the marketing budget, and that's exactly the opposite
Sure.
of what they should be doing.
Right. Why wouldn't you cut? Yeah, like product
Yeah.
budget or
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. And obviously that's why we have talked about stuff like this. Like we will scale, and we are slowly scaling everything we do, but we have no need to turn into Nike. Because then you deal with bullshit. You deal with
Mhm.
bullshit people, bullshit athletes. Like, I'd rather stay us, regardless of what we do. And that's something you're a good friend and something that stuck with me for a long time when we podcasted a long time ago. Talk about growing a business. You can either have a lot of growth or you can have a lot of control, but you're not going to be able to get a lot of both of those.
Right.
That's it's just so true. It's basic, but it's so true.
So back to our original question.
Our business meeting.
Yeah, something else that we've talked about is that not everything that we put out is a fit for a particular influencer.
Sure.
And so we try to be, we try to think about that as we're doing it, and we're like, I'm sure that we do stuff that people don't understand, and I think that that's where you need to be.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. You mean like designs and whatever, fabric choices, or the fact that, our stuff is a little bit more expensive because it's more custom typically, and whatever. That's not everybody understands that, and that's okay. That's okay. Like I'm completely okay with that. If you're not doing something that some people don't understand, you're probably not innovating at all. So.
Yeah. No, I agree. And to me, and this, we've talked about it here, and I've probably talked about other places. Like, I really like Disneyland and Disney World, and it's not because I'm like a Disney princess adult guy. I'm not wearing fucking mouse ears and watching Disney every night, but I like, I like their overall strategy, and I liken us to Disney in the sense that everything.
That's aspirational, but go on.
In the same vein, but not even not close. But in the sense that we make clothes, and what Disney does, they make movies. But each movie is so different. If you take Coco and then you compare it to Toy Story or Mulan or something, right? Like one's about this girl going to war for her family because she doesn't want her dad to, and one is about death and this kid, and then Toy Story is about fucking.
Well, and then throw Marvel in there too,
right?
and Star Wars and all that.
Yeah,
I mean,
we could throw it all in there. We could throw it all in there, and they're all Disney movies.
Yeah.
And you may like them all.
Yeah.
Because they're all pretty good. But yeah, if you compare whatever the fuck Rey is doing in Star Wars compared to Coco, compared to Buzz Lightyear, they're all such different capsules.
Mm-hmm.
They're so different. They're mini stories of this chain that is Disney, and so they may kind of look alike. Like the artwork in Mulan isn't that varied from Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the same vein. But it's a totally different world. Some people may fucking hate talking animals.
Yeah.
I forgot who I was listening to. Someone said that. Like, yeah, I can't do like talking animals. I was like, I get it. Like, I don't mind, but I understand if that's just
I
out
don't
of
like
your door.
talking animals
Yeah,
in
see?
movies, the live action movies.
Yeah, that got a little weird. I don't love the live action Disney's. Even though the Aladdin was okay.
I mean more like look who's talking with the version with the dogs or cats and shit. You know,
yeah,
like you
well,
know.
I was thinking the live action Lion King is like that. Even though it's not like super live action,
Yeah.
it's semi live
Yeah,
action.
I mean, yeah, you there's an animation quality
Yeah.
to it that you're thinking, okay,
yeah.
you know,
I agree.
it's all right, but it's not so uncanny valley. But like if I had a dog and that fucker started talking to me in real life, I'd be very upset.
I would think I would like that in real life.
Yeah.
And a movie is a little weird, but real life that'd be kind of sick. But point is, that's where we sit. So like June kind of said, like this latest drop is based around like NASCAR art, our physical location being a shop, a mechanic shop back in the day. Me and Jim both like cars. Like it's varied around. It's inspired by kind of all that.
But it's also not very specific about it.
It's not. It's a general racing-ish world design. But point is that the next one we're working on is has nothing to do with that. And although some of the garments may, if you put them up next to each other, may look similar-ish, maybe some of the colorways or some of the fits or some of the general styling, like me in particular, like a short that fits above the knee. When I played sports, that's what I like. When I squat, that's what I like. I like the leg hole to be a little bit bigger. Yes, lifters tend to have bigger quads, but even if I didn't, it's just more comfortable to have some breathing room down there. I don't like tight-fitting shorts. I fucking hate that. So all of those qualities kind of go along, right? In Disney's, same thing. Like they kind of have build family quote-unquote movies. Often they have morals about them. But beyond that, like it could be kind of anything, which I think is cool. You can like Good Company, 3rd Street, and you could have a favorite dropper capsule. Like someone messed today, like there's a glitch in the Matrix. I don't know if you read this. Someone put it on Instagram, said there must be a glitch in the Matrix. Who loves E30 BMWs and powerlifting like me? And like post a picture of Kyle. And I was like, yeah, like we used my car on the thing just because it's one of my favorite cars and it was my photography and whatever. But point is, you can like all of Disney. I like all of Disney, and Lion King spoke to me more than other movies. Something kind of like that.
Yeah.
That was a long explanation for not much of a point, but you guys are welcome.
Yeah, and I think that the reality is that we're indulging our own like short attention spans by looking at different things that we like instead of locking into one thing and always doing that.
I would think as a designer and as a marketer and as a company, I would just get so bored.
Yeah, that's a problem. And it's probably self-limiting.
No, 100 and no shade to anyone. And we're self-limiting for sure in terms of our income because you hit a niche and you dig deep. I get it, but like those companies out there, and no hate or shade by any means. You do you, me do me. I said that for a long time, but like I'll use Nike to not offend anyone that bad. A Nike shirt, Nike's drop, spring drop, and summer drop are going to be the exact same fucking thing. Like with a very slight different, it's gonna say "Just Do It." It's gonna have that thing on there, and I'm not against branding. I'm not. Just Do It's a great fucking motto. Obviously, Nike's done amazing things. They're the biggest shoe company of history of humankind, the biggest apparel company, I believe, probably in humankind. I get it, but I would get so fucking bored telling the same story over and over and over, and that's I think where athletes and affiliates come more in hand, because then you start to tell their story, because Nike's story is dry. Right? It's the same thing over and over. So they grab they grab Michael Jordan and they tell his story in a different way, and then they grab Kobe Bryant and then they tell his story slightly different way, and then they grab Usain Bolt or whatever, Tiger Woods, and they start to, I know Usain Bolt's with Puma, you fucking weirdos, you get my point. And then you grab Tiger Woods and you tell his story, because they don't breathe story, they tell stories, where we're trying to write a story. I think that's kind of the difference. They're telling someone else's story,
right? And
we're making up our stories.
Yeah, and we've also not been doing it so long that we have to figure out how to repeat ourselves in a different way.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Yes.
At least not in terms of the clothing. In terms of content, we are constantly looking for ways to produce not the same content over and over. And then you look at a lot of YouTube channels, it's the same stuff over and over. And people say, it's because it works. It's like, yeah, it works. It doesn't work for me as a creator, and doesn't work for me as a viewer for the most part. I don't care about, and so about a lot of like seeing the same thing over and over again.
I think
I don't find it reassuring.
Content creation and kind of the point I was getting at is a good parallel. It's very similar.
However, I fell into this hole on YouTube the other day, this rabbit hole, and I'm prone to do. I started watching this guy who he streams Twitch, but he does like loops.
Yeah.
And he creates music out of loops solo, and like does a live performance on Twitch, and then takes that video and puts it on YouTube. It's not live on both platforms, but like really good, really good, and several years ago wanted to not have a 9-to-5 anymore, and figured out how to do that, and he's still going and probably continually getting better. Yeah.
I think as a musician, things seem so difficult to like organically come up. Like you have to do social media.
Yeah.
Like even actors, actresses, like they're all kind of pumping in that world, and you make it bigger. Like even Justin Bieber, right? Like he's the typical story. I think he was a YouTuber and Usher found him or something.
I think that's right.
Yeah. Alicia Cara is another one. She did like impersonations on YouTube, and she was sick. She did like all these like funny but real impersonations, and then she got found and made a real album and is in maybe TV and shit now. But like, you're kind of trudging your own path regardless, rather than you could do it the other way. You can do a bunch of open mic nights and go to, and then American Idol's a whole nother path. Like you can find your own way, but and that's the truth. We're finding our own way. We may have ambassadors, we may have influencers. Who the fuck knows?
My feeling is that we'll probably do some micro influencers to test.
I think like
and probably without codes.
Yeah, it's something that
we'll see.
I've thought about, and I don't know if we talk about it on air or off air. I don't want to go too deep on air because I actually think it is a genius idea. But
okay, then skip it.
But I do think something like I want to build a team. I don't want to build a random person that I send random shirts to and they randomly punch a code and don't care about us, what we do, and I don't care about them. If we do it, I want to do it like as a team with a real relationship, with real loyalty back and forth. Again, working for multiple companies in this space as a social media marketer, and working for some companies, not a ton. Like Reebok, I worked with for 6 years, that sponsored me. I know what's cool and not cool, and I want humans to come first and relationships to come first. Like obviously good company. Like I don't want it to be so transactional. And that's what like Jim said. Like I really like this person, but he's not selling. His code sucks. So what do we do? I don't want to get in that situation.
Yeah, I don't want to feel.
I want to like I want to tattoo my name on somebody, and somebody tattoo fucking good company on them, and we ride or die kind of deal. And I know that's hard because life goes through changes, and it's not a forever. I'm not saying we're gonna marry this person, but I want it to be more in depth than just an Instagram post for a tee.
I also want to just throw out that I watched, and I know you did too. Hours of the Kern this weekend, and I was really paying attention to which brands were represented there, and like brands that used to be very prominent or used to be affiliated with are not so much anymore, and I can see why.
Yeah, the game's changing. I do think relationships matter, and I think people get bored of the same thing too, like talking about the Nike. Like if Nike just did Nike and didn't sign, like they sign rookies all the time. Like, that's kind of how they stay relevant, right? Like, they'll sign guys going to the draft, and then they have a new story, and they stay relevant. If you, as a company, even in a smaller niche like powerlifting, if you are only selling the same tee over and over, and you're only sponsoring the same people over and over, and you're not, like, in it, I think you'll get lost in the dust to new companies. Like, shout out Living Large. Like, I don't know who they are. I know they're from Ohio, and I know they sponsor some of my friends.
Yeah.
But it seems like they care about their athletes. It seems they pay attention to multiple things, like a person, like who they are, what they do. I don't know everyone they sponsor, but the people I do know they sponsor seem like really good humans.
Oh, there are people that we would work with if they were not already working with somebody else.
They sponsor people that work hard, that are good at the sport. Maybe they sponsor some of the best, obviously, but they sponsor just strong people with like good morals. It seems like a real relation. Yeah, our boy Palco sponsored by them. They sign like cool people rather than like just signing world record holders or just signing people with a big following and making it so transactional. And again, that's from the outside. I don't even know who owns the company or runs it. I just
don't know either.
I literally just know they're from Ohio and work with some of my friends. But point being, there was a lot of their gear. There was a lot of their lifters.
Uh-huh.
Eight
A lot
Man,
of 8 Man because 8 Man was the
obviously.
top line sponsor.
Yeah, but they've done a great job too. Talk about 8 Man, like
Yeah.
they kind of like sponsor ish people. I don't know their business end of it, whether they pay or whatever it goes. But they seem like they care about, and we know them. Like they
Yeah.
worked with us forever. Adam and Noah are really good dudes, and they care about the sport. They care about the people, and that shows in like their media, and it shows in their sponsorship. And they're another one. Like, not to throw shade, but like their clothing has a repeatability to it because they tell good stories through their athletes. Some of their commercials on the Kern were sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were really good commercials. That's something that stood out to me. Obviously, the lifting, we can go into that another time, was really, really, really good. Great production, great lifters, insane lifts. The sport's evolving. I love to see that. But something that stood out from a marketing business standpoint is how good 8 Man's commercials were. Because they're telling a story all wrapped up in one. We'll move on from that topic unless you got another one.
I probably did, but
Yeah.
I've lost it. We had a couple questions on the chat.
Oh, yeah. So,
we can
gentlemen?
we can hit one of them pretty quickly. Top 3 favorite movies. This is off the fitness topic, but
That's really hard.
it's hard. But like, what if I said 5?
Even still, I can't rank them. I guess favorites, like, you throw them all in there. You go I go like Star Wars. I might go like an Interstellar's in there. I like I like Departed a lot. I don't know, because there's so many fucking movies. If I'm like stamping my name on them, they're all kind of the same though. It's like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Harry Potter. That's that shit. When I'm scrolling through, if it's on, I'm watching every single time.
Yeah.
But I love Remember the Titans. I really like Lion King. I don't know.
For me,
You know
personally-
'em, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
my all-time favorite movie, that was spoiled for me by them releasing a totally extended edition, was Apocalypse Now. I think the original Apocalypse Now is my favorite movie
Ever?
of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't know- I don't-
so good. I know all the lines.
Yeah, I don't know if I
Um,
have a movie like that.
And this one's dumb, but the one I can't ever get out of my brain because I saw it so many times when I was a kid, and I watched it again in the last couple of months, was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. It's terrible.
Are
and
they riding
wonderful
around
at the
on
same time.
on a bed?
No,
What's that?
that's Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
Is that similar category, similar world, or am I way off?
That's Disney.
Oh,
And Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was actually like written by the guy who created James Bond.
Chitty Chitty Bang. I feel like I've seen it.
It's Dick Van Dyke,
yeah.
and his
Yeah.
his British accent was so terrible in Mary Poppins that even though the whole
It's
movie
fake?
is British, yeah.
I don't know.
Even though the whole movie is British, he uses an American accent. The whole thing. His father has an English accent, and he doesn't. And he lives in England, so there.
1968. Yeah, I think I've seen this.
Another one of my favorites. Very, very, very sad movie, but super well done. Ordinary People. If you want to
I think I've heard of it.
watch a depressing movie about depression, that's the one. And not a not horrific. Like, there are some of them that are about depression and suicide and stuff that
Yeah.
you just never pull out of the tailspin of.
Training Day. I just rewatched. I love Training Day.
I found that movie so uncomfortable because I like Denzel so much, and the character
No, he's
is
the worst.
so unlikable.
Yeah, I like him.
Like, I have a real challenge with that one.
Yeah, I love it.
What else?
I love the first Men in Black for some reason.
First Men in Black is good.
That was
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
one of the first PG-13 movies I was allowed to watch, and maybe that has to do with it. But
Yeah.
I'm a big Will Smith fan, and everyone's like, well, he just does a bunch of movies, and yeah, fuck you, I don't really care. I like the type of movie he often chooses,
Mhm.
and then I like him as like a person, like his social media aspect and stuff. He's just so funny. And I grew up on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, probably my favorite show of all time.
I don't think I've ever seen an episode all the way through.
Oh no way, I've seen every episode at least 5 times,
Really,
every single one.
Yeah. Actually, this is not my top 3, but this is 3
just
movies
throw
I'm going to talk about. Star Trek 2. I have a very long history with
Never
Star
seen
Trek
it.
2. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't think I've seen any real Star Treks.
You saw the later ones.
I saw the first of the later ones.
Okay, that's not a bad movie.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I like it.
They
I like it.
they fuck with things, but they give. He had license to fuck with things because he reset the timeline.
Yeah, I like it.
But no, I saw that movie before it was released. I saw it before it was finished.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, I was living in LA at the time, and we were walking down the street in Westwood.
They drag you in?
No, they said they gave us passes and
That's
said these are to a science fiction movie at Paramount. Come and watch it on this date. Bring this thing with you.
That's cool.
And we didn't know what it was because we were dumb.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
You were a Star Trek fan already, though?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's sick. Then.
Huge.
That's like a life. That's like a life event then.
Yeah,
Like if someone did
yeah.
that to me, like, hey, just come watch this random movie. And it was like a new Star Wars. I'd freak out.
Yeah, the director introduced the movie. Came
That's
out
sick.
and the cast was in the back row, but we didn't
Yeah.
know it until
That's sick.
later. I've read books about this
Yeah.
incident because like the first showing they didn't like the end. People didn't like the end. And so they rejiggered the end of the movie
Interesting.
and then showed it again and it got, like when I saw it, it got a standing ovation.
Yeah, that's sick.
Like everybody thought it was awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say like for me, I think, because some is like nostalgia. Even though like they're good movies and they're like famous. Like I love Jurassic Park. Are people putting that on like the best movie list of all time? I don't know, probably not, but I like it. I really like it. I'll watch that shit all over and over and over.
Yeah, I think it's a mess and still it's very watchable.
Yeah, I love watching.
Like
yeah,
there's no like logic to it.
no,
at
there's
all.
nothing going
The
on
f- the
except
fir-
that Elon's trying to make one now.
Did
you read
like
that?
real life? Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
real life.
I'm going. I'll go first day.
I actually liked the first of the reboot ones too, Jurassic World.
I like
that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Chris
And
Pratt's good.
I watched all of the
Yeah.
first round of them.
Yeah, I like is it number 2 with Vince Vaughn? I'm a huge Vince Vaughn fan too. Old school. Like it's hard to put for me.
I can't remember if that's the second or the third one.
I don't know. It's hard for to put like a comedy in like my top favorite movies all time, and I don't know if that's like an ego thing because then you like I don't know, maybe you like sound dumb if you don't like a good movie, you know. But like I love Old School. I love Wedding Crashers. I love those fucking movies.
Wedding Crashers I've seen. Old School I just can't do.
I don't know why. I
don't
love
know.
Will Ferrell in it. Love Vince Vaughn.
In that vein though, more Seth Rogen-y. Not Seth Rogen. Oh my God, what's his name?
Jonah.
No. Producer, director that Seth Rogen works with a lot.
Not the knocked up guy.
Yes, that
Yeah,
guy.
I can't think of his name. Yeah, he does all those movies.
Yeah, I'm I Love You, Man. That's
Love You
an
Man's really
awesome
good.
movie.
I love
That's
Love
a
You
super
Man.
awesome movie.
Yeah.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah, I like
That's
that
a
too.
fucking great movie too.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Judd
Judd
Apatow. Thank you.
What's that guy's name though? The I Love You Man guy.
Jason Segel.
Jason Segel. Jason Segel's good.
He's awesome.
Yeah, I like those movies. A lot.
He's somebody
Paul Rudd.
Yeah, these are guys you could have a beer with. Like
know,
probably really.
You know Mike Sean, his older brother. I think you might have met him for a second. Is
Yeah.
very Paul Ruddy.
Oh really?
Yeah, not only kind of looks like him, but kind of just acts.
Is
like
he not going to age at all like Paul Rudd?
He's done pretty good so far.
Yeah. Okay.
He's done pretty good so far. Yeah, Paul Rudd's good. I love all those. And again, like, do I put him in like best movie of all time or even my favorite? I don't know. But they get me going.
The other two questions. Keith, they said your second question. I'll DM you about that one. The one before that is something that we were talking about before, and Mike and I were talking about before we started here. This is a context thing. Are we still in touch with the guys from the SCDAs? And the answer is some, but not many.
Yeah.
Because life has seasons, and just like TV shows, and your guest starring cast is not always the same.
Yeah, and I people always like tweet it and like meme it now, like inspirational meme it, like reach out to those. If you think about reaching out to someone, just do it. Like you don't know what they're going through or whatever. And I'm really, really good at that and really, really bad at that. I think I have a gift for being social. Jim, I think, could vouch for me. Like I can talk to anybody and relate to anybody. That's like one of my very few gifts.
I totally can't. So
Yeah, that's like one of my few things. Like I can talk and chat it up, and I can do that with anybody. But I don't connect with many people. And so like those people that I actually connect with through my past, I text here and there, and I'll just check in. Yeah, I'll think about you. What's up? But that list is very small because I'm just very social and I'm closed in. And so, yeah, there's very few people from that time. Dan lives with me, for those Super Training fans.
Yeah.
Fat Daniel literally lives with me. Marcus Filipino Thunder, we see on the weekly, on the daily. He trains at our gym and is a buddy of ours. That might be the list. Ben Claridad, who was in not part of like Super Training particular, but he was part of the days of early Super Training for me. I see him on the regular and talk to him. And that's probably it. Obviously Jim. I can't think. But the truth is, yes, chapters change, seasons change, humans change, times change. I know we put our lives on the internet, and so it seems like our lives should not change because you guys reckon what we do very
and it's
similar.
all still out there. That's the
Yeah,
thing. People
yeah.
watch that and it's
No-
as if it's happening right now.
No, somebody DM'd me. I did a Q&A with like Alan and Make Squats and Mark a long time ago, and it was like probably 7 years ago now. And we talk about steroids, and I say
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm not on steroids, and someone like DM'd me or questioned me somewhere like, hey man, a couple months ago you talked about not doing steroids. Are you doing them now? I'm like, a couple months ago, 7 years ago,
Yeah.
I said I'm not doing steroids, and I'm still not doing them. But point is, yeah, like their time gets lost because the date on a YouTube video is really small.
It's teeny.
Yeah, and they put it out of the way, so I get it. And you liken what we do to like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like Will Smith's just not going to disappear or from the show,
Mhm.
right? Like, and so they don't just go their own ways. Those chapters don't end.
Right.
Main characters don't leave.
Right.
But in real life, if you reckon it to your life and connect it to your life, your relationships romantically, or your parents or your siblings or your friends, chances are you don't hang out with the same people, live the same life, have the same job, or live in the same place for more than 5 years.
Mhm.
Like, it's very uncommon to do that. And even, sadly, marriage is very uncommon to
Mhm.
last more than like
Mhm.
5 years.
It-
So
it's more like I would say it's more like ER.
yeah, I never really watched it. My parents did a little bit, so
It's more
scope
like
on it.
ER than it is like
Yeah, like a typical sitcom.
Law and Order. Actually, Law and Order is more like that too. I'm trying to think of one that's,
Where people disappear.
NCIS has had a pretty stable cast,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
it's been running for a long time.
Yeah, The Simpsons.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Simpsons. Simpsons. That's the ultimate one right there. Yeah,
they never
It's-
change.
Yeah, never ever
Yeah.
ever change. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just not how life works. And so
No,
people
it's
move on.
not. And so like I still talk to Ryan Cove.
Oh
but
yeah, and Ryan
he's-
Spencer.
and Ryan
Spencer
Spencer-
came by the gym, said hi. Like, but yeah, I don't talk to people in general, and so I definitely don't talk to people from a job that I left 5 years ago.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it goes.
that's really what it comes down to. But it all just seems very immediate to people, and they don't know. That's just life. Life happens like that, and you like if you want to think of another analogy, like if people that you worked with 5 years ago that you were relatively close to because you saw every day.
Yeah.
If those people moved on, if any one of those people moved on, you know that it's always going to be an effort to try to stay in touch with those
Right.
people. And chances are you didn't have anything in common beyond the
Yeah.
fact that you worked together.
Or yeah, you're on different wavelengths now. People grow and change. I was 22 when I kind of started that job.
yeah.
You know, I'm about to be 33.
Yeah.
Things change. People change.
Yeah, we were sort of touched on that a little bit when we were talking about Power Unlimited. Like, I'm not in contact with any of those people
Yeah.
anymore. I used to see them on a daily basis. Like, I got a Facebook memory yesterday that like Haas broke the single ply squat record
Yeah.
12 years ago yesterday,
Yeah.
and that weight was 1025,
Yeah.
which
How crazy is
in
that?
light of
Daniel Bell just did 11:13 on
Yeah.
wraps.
yeah, just like in light of that, and like in wraps, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
just wraps.
Yeah, and I mean that was a big-ish deal at the time.
Yeah.
And it was also done at a local meet and not a national or international
I even
meet.
feel Daniel Bell, shout out to Dan Bell, didn't even like get the hype it deserved.
No.
Like that, you saw a couple reposts.
He's starting doing stuff on the regular. And
right,
that's
he
the
squatted
problem. It's
10.
like-
He squatted 11:03, I think, 4 months ago
yeah.
in comp. But still, you're like, it gets a couple reposts or something. But like the sport's grown, social media's grown. Is still like that should be on Yahoo News and shit. Like that's fucking insane.
Yeah, like it was when
Yeah, Spoto.
Spoto, yeah, like that's one of my biggest videos ever, and it probably isn't as big as it should have been because footage got like
Yeah. Well, and bench press is more relatable than squat. I get it. But like CrossFit, like all these folks, they know what they squat now.
Yeah.
More people know what they squat now than they did then.
yeah.
And you see like 11, 13, you're like, oh fuck. We'll end it on this semi-fitnessy one.
Okay.
Thoughts on body tempering. So I assume you guys mean like extreme foam rolling. We'll call it X Games foam rolling. You're digging metal into your body or scraping or
on it, it's rolling on you.
Yeah, I think so. And I would imagine.
Donnie Thompson.
Yeah.
And a little bit Duffin.
Everybody's kind of into it now. I imagine scraping kind of goes into a body tempering category. Umbrella, even foam rolling might
I
go
don't
into the umbrella. personally, and no shade because a lot of our friends have built careers and truly believe in it. Anecdotally, for me and the clients I've worked with, I have found no success with any of these modalities. And I like to think I am a good bridge between evidence-based and bros. Bros typically just means anecdotal evidence, right? It means what works for me works for me, and what works for my clients works for my clients. And there's some validation there. Like if you're having success with you and thousands of clients, rock on, because sometimes science hasn't kept up.
Yeah.
You can't run a study on everything, especially because of budget and just some things can't be isolated. So if it works for you, party. For me, foam rolling has zero evidence. Scraping has no evidence besides bruising yourself. There's nothing. And there hasn't been studies done. There's been studies on some of this stuff. I don't know about exactly body tempering, grabbing an 80-pound piece of metal and rolling on your back. But if foam rolling shows no scientific evidence of released fascia, if you could release your fascia so easily, we would all have bumps and bruises on us 24/7. If a piece of foam can manipulate my fascia in my quad. I fell on my bike the other day. I would have constant indents all over my body from eating pavement going 15 miles per hour, right? Because my fascia is so malleable. Your fascia doesn't move like that. And if you want to take it less literally and you're saying, oh, no, you're just kind of showing your brain and nerves that area is no longer safe and no longer needs to be tense, I may agree, but I would argue that you'd have better opportunity doing that just moving, walking, air squatting, getting blood to the area in whatever area is hurting or feels tight. Often you're tight because you sit at a desk all day and you don't move, and then you try to foam roll and then you try to squat 300 pounds. I'm not a fan of any of that. I think there's no evidence. Placebo effect is very, very strong, my friends. If you start to do it daily and then warm up with the barbell and you have a good squat session, triggers in your brain are going to say, oh, I had a good squat session because, and then you're going to foam roll every fucking time. I am more of a fan of walking, biking, standing, moving the barbell around a lot. Take an empty barbell for 3 sets of 30. Tell me you don't feel better than when you walked in the door. And that's actually getting blood moving to the body. Yeah, long story short, I'm not a fan.
Here's my thing. If it's not damaging, if it's not detrimental in any way.
It hurts my eyes, Jim. I hate seeing people flounder around like a dead fish on foam all day.
I'm going to agree with you on that point. But if it works for somebody and it doesn't put them in danger, and I'm okay with it. I'm completely okay with it. I think that you need to think about like how much you're going to invest in it. And at the same time, I mean, there are some studies behind this whole bed thing that I bought. But it's not mainstream.
But if it makes you feel
science
better
at this point, and I'm hoping that things are better. But I'm also open to the possibility that they won't be. This is a stopgap between, spending thousands of dollars more on heating and cooling our bedroom.
When you're not missing a meal over the money you're spending on this. I think
that's an important point. Like I think that if money is an issue, you can work out these problems other ways for the most part.
I get it. Like foam rollers cost $10 on Amazon. Get it, roll on it. That's cool. But then you start to buy a drill with a fucking foam butt plug on the end, and you start to hit yourself with it, and that thing costs $800. And then you buy this piece of 80-pound metal, and that costs $600. Like, move. I'm telling you, if you ever believed anything I've ever coached you, taught you, I know it's 50% facts, and that's how I talk often, but if you just move more throughout your week, walking, biking, standing, climbing, you will feel better in a week.
Yeah, well, as Mike Sean is fond of saying, motion is the lotion.
Motion's the lotion, baby.
Moving is better than not moving always.
Yeah. And I think it's better than most things most of the time.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that all of these things, which comes full circle back to the beginning of our conversation about the kinds of things that you align yourself with and what's worthwhile to be associated with and stuff. A lot of this stuff is marketed as a silver bullet to try to solve a particular problem. And some people get desperate enough to say, I'm willing to pay too much money for the silver bullet because I believe it will solve my problem.
And placebo can be like mental. I don't necessarily demonize the people selling it because they've convinced themselves it works too.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it, and I'm not going to be sponsored by it. I'm not going to promote it. I'm going to tell you guys when it's horseshit, and I'm going to tell you the truth. But yeah, and some of them haven't. Some are demons. Some are just in it for the cash. They know this is fucking bullshit, and they're going to sell you anything to make a buck.
Right.
That's a large percentage of the fitness industry too. I'd say 70%. 70% are pieces of shit selling you shit they know doesn't work to make a buck, to drive in the Ferrari, to put a picture on Instagram to sell you more bullshit, and 30% are lost in their own sauce, which I also have empathy for, but I don't agree with.
The one thing I'm going to disagree with there is leasing a Porsche, not buying a Porsche.
Yeah, maybe tax reasons and who knows what, but it's true. Can't even afford that shit, you bums.
I don't understand. Yeah, no, I mean, it goes back to what I was saying before, self-limiting. Like, the people that we admire in the industry are the people who've not hitched their wagon to some silver bullet. And,
Yeah.
And a lot of them have figured out ways to monetize that integrity, that viewpoint, whatever. And God love them because that was, it was smart.
Yeah. That's that.
That's that.
If I had no integrity, I may be richer.
There haven't been any more questions, Sam, right? No. Okay.
I'm rich in integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. New podcast every single Wednesday. Fitnessy talking soon, and then we're hopping into another movie, Icarus. If you want to get ahead of time with us, watch it, and we'll review it in about 2 weeks. Thanks so much. I'm Silent Mike, 3sb.co. 3rd Street Barbell is where we live. And thanks for everything.
I am at the Jim McD on all the social media. This show is 50% facts, where percent is a word.